What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another lab session. We got another special guest here today, my cousin, right? Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell them who you are, what you do.
All right, I'm Bree. I am obviously his cousin, like he said, but I'm a Pilates instructor. So I teach full time for a Pilates instructor right now at a few different studios. And then I am a kind of at home mom too because I homeschool my kids. So I teach super early in the morning Pilates and then I homeschool my kids later in the day. But yeah, I'm excited to be here. I was honored to be asked to come on a podcast. So I'm excited for this conversation and just, yeah, having a good time. So what's up?
Yeah, we got a lot of different things we go down. You touch a lot of big topics. We'll talk about those later. But let's talk about where it all started. Because Pilates, I'm going to say that's really fitness. I don't really even know what Pilates is all the way, but we're going to get to that, right?
Okay.
But it all started with fitness, right?
Facts.
So let's start with your fitness journey, where that started, how that even came about.
That's a good question. Everyone just assumes that I've always been into fitness because I've been pretty thin my whole life. But really it boiled down to like after my second child, I noticed that I wasn't just losing the weight the way I wanted personally. I'm sure everyone has their own goals, right? So aesthetically for me, I wasn't where I was wanting to be. And so I started really looking into different ways. You remember I had my massage studio at the time.
Yeah.
So I had started doing body sculpting during that time. And that's when you do like the body cavitation, all that stuff to help with fat loss. But I noticed that that was not a permanent solution. That was like a short-term result. You get like tighter skin. You might lose a few inches around the waist, but it really boiled down to eating healthy and working out. So like those were all like quick fixes, but not really giving me the solution I needed. So as I was working with other women in that field, I noticed that they were having the same feeling I was having. Like, we're spending a lot of money here, which is true, and I'm not still getting the body that I want. So I dug a little deeper and I started working out myself. I started pairing those treatments on myself with working out. I did notice results. And then I was like, okay, let me take this full time. And I became a personal trainer. So I did personal training probably for like 2-ish years before I transitioned into the whole Pilates realm. And that's like a long story that I can shorten up later in conversation. But yeah, fitness probably for the past 4 years.
So body sculpting, right? People would get results doing that, but it just wouldn't
last.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So like that would be like a quick snatch. Like let's say you going, I don't know, to Miami with your girls for the weekend and you've been working out, but you just want to make sure that like your tummy's tight and everything's like looking right or your butt's lifted. Go get a body sculpting treatment. But if you just had a baby and you're trying to like tone up and shape up, not really gonna give you the results you want, and not everyone is going to be honest with you. And like that's where I was different in my business. Like I could sell it to you, sure, and take your money.
This ain't what you're looking for, bro.
Yeah, but it's not gonna give you what you want. And being a girl's girl, I just really didn't believe in that. So I really had to like figure out a formula that worked for us.
No, that's what's up. So fitness, personal training, right? Where were you personal training at? And you said that was 2 years. Was that like consistently 2 years, was it on and off? Or?
No, it was consistently. So I started personal training originally doing like fit camps outside of my massage studio in the parking lot and just like inviting people to work out outside with minimal equipment. I bought like booty bands, light dumbbells, and mostly like body weight. And then I was just like, okay, this is cool, but we were in Florida, it was like hot, so like weather would always like be like a factor whether we're gonna get our workout in or not, because I had no covering. And I just didn't like that either, because now you're asking people to get on a fitness journey with you, but you can't provide them consistency, which is a frustrating factor as a consumer and as a business owner. Like, you would hate to let your clients down, but as a client, you're just like, damn, girl, we've been working out and I was looking forward to this, and now I can't because it's raining and it's Florida, so like what can you do?
Anybody on that?
Right. So then I started working out of a gym. So I worked at UFit for a while, and I did like the same style classes at UFit.
UFit is where?
It's probably no longer anymore because it was a smaller gym.
Okay.
So I think they're like being bought out.
But what
honestly.
city that was in though?
Land O'Lakes. So it's like north of Tampa, like 40 minutes. And yes, I worked at UFit, just basically doing boot camp classes at UFit for them. I mean, I was on schedule as a personal trainer, but they just didn't have the clientele to bring people in one-on-one. And to be fair, that's not really my jam. Like, I don't really like one-on-one training.
Groups.
I do like groups. I like the energy of groups. I like the accountability that and the community that a group brings. And if it branches out into one-on-one stuff, that I just kind of like to meet people in group settings because then I know you're serious. It's really hard to motivate in a one-on-one setting with a stranger.
Yeah.
Like for you, I know you already, so like if we work out, all right, I'm like, I know Javi's gonna go hard, like he's not gonna play around. There could be some like random stranger that I just met and they just don't have that motivation.
That should be like a therapy session sometimes too, bro. Folks don't even want to. They really just going there to get their mind off of something.
Sometimes, and it's really hard when you don't know the person.
Yeah.
It takes a while, and you're asking them to spend money with you. And if they're not getting results right away, it's really easy for them to just be like, all right, I'm not doing this anymore and fall off. So I do like the group setting because it holds more accountability in my opinion. And then after that, I found a studio that I actually was able to have like a private gym and rent out a private gym as well as have my massage studio. So I did like the body sculpting, the massage, and the workouts all in one building, which was very nice. And I did that for a while until I moved to Virginia. So then when I moved to Virginia, I kind of like took a step back because I was just like, well, damn, I don't really want to build up clientele all over again because I don't know how long I'm going to be here. And that's how Pilates fell on my lap. I was just like really on Indeed one day looking for a job. I kid you not. And it was like, I swear to God, everyone thinks it's probably something more deep than this. I was literally on Indeed one day scrolling, looking for a job. I was in Virginia. And they were like, the ad was like, basically like, oh, are you a fitness person? Are you into like helping others? Like, here's an opportunity. We'll pay for your schooling. You can become an instructor and you can do it in little as 3 months. I'm like, bet, I don't got a job.
That's
3 months
sweet.
Yeah, right? Lied to, by the way. Lied to.
Oh,
I mean, I'm super appreciative of opportunity, but this is why I say I keep things 100% transparent because I was lied to. They played me heavy.
What they said though, so it said 3 months, we got you, don't worry about nothing, we'll take care of everything.
You're certified.
Yeah.
Period. Right? And I'm just thinking like, okay, I'm already a personal trainer. I'm already a massage therapist. I know the body. How hard can this be? Okay, cool. So they signed me up. I didn't have to pay for anything. So I will say they didn't play me on that route. They did pay for everything.
They was kind of honest. They was
kind of honest, right? In turn, I did have to sign a contract that I had to work at their studio for a year, which was like, okay, cool. But I was already in a lease at my house for a year, so I really couldn't leave any sooner. So I felt like that was solid, okay? Fast forward, your year doesn't start, though, until you finish your certification.
Oh,
okay?
That's 3 months, though?
So it's 3 months and then a year to work.
Oh.
Okay. So then listen. Then I'd start the schooling, right? They sign me up. I get all my shit. Quickly, I noticed I had been played because when I logged on to see all the shit I had to learn, I was like, this is no way getting done. This is for Pilates. I was like, this is no way this is getting done in 3 months. Because, okay, it's 500 hours to become like a fully comprehensive certified instructor. 500 hours doesn't seem like a lot, which is why mind you, I had already done my massage therapy cert, which was also 500 hours. That took me 9 months to do, and they had a schooling for that, but they made you come in person every day, so they kind of stretched it out.
How many hours were you in the class, though, too?
Probably like 4 every day, and then you had like 2. It was like 4 hours every day, and then like when you got later on in the program, it was like 2 hours for like practicals. But anyways, 9 months for massage therapy. Then fast forward, I got my aesthetics license. That was 350 hours. So that took me 3 months to do, but I was like in there probably 5-6 days a week trying to cram it in. Sometimes I was there doing a double, but that school had a little more flexibility. You could come as much as you want to try to get everything done. So when they said 500 hours for Pilates, I was like, straight, I could do it because it's like a 40-hour work week, right?
But you knew it was 500 hours though first?
I knew it was 500 hours.
Okay. So you think in your mind how it's going to be the same like the other ones?
Well, I'm thinking in my mind 500 hours between, I try to play with it. I'm like, okay, I could do it in 3 months, realistically, if I dedicated 40 hours a week to it, right? But at that time, mind you, my youngest was only 3. It's really hard to...
Full-time mom, plus doing full-time
school at home.
Yeah.
Now it's at home because now it wasn't like... This was all self-taught, so it's not like I can go somewhere every day and like, okay, I'm going to lock in. So that was really hard. And then fast forward, so all the curriculum online was a lot. And then you had to have, I think it was like 60 hours in person. I believe it was 60, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure. You had to have like in person with an instructor, right? So I signed up.
That was like at the end or at any point in time?
So mine was like a month after I signed up, but I think it just depends on when you sign up versus when the next class is. It just depends. because some of the girls that I was in class with, they had been signed up for like 2 or 3 months. So for them, that shit was probably easier because they had like 3 months to be online watching the videos and learning the curriculum. By the time they went into the studio, they knew what the fuck they was talking about. I got in there like 2 weeks. It's probably a month since I signed up, but 2 weeks realistically since I started trying to like learn some shit. I had no idea what I was. I had no idea. I'd never been on a reformer before. I never took a Pilates class before. I'm in there just like, I'm a personal trainer, trying to be cutesy. Let me get this certification. Let me get home. And my master trainer, love her to death, like literally humbled me that first day, because I remember I was just like, okay, everyone has these reformers. And then like immediately when you start learning.
Reformers what?
That's machine that you lay on, that you see. I don't know. We're going to get that. Finish story now. So the reformer is what you lay on. So it's a studio with 12 reformers, and I think there was like 8 girls in my class when we were learning together, 6 to 8 girls. And the instructors, you know, she did a warm up with us, and like she taught the class, and I really thought nothing of it. Like, I'm taking the class, I'm listening to her, whatever. And then like immediately you take out your book, you like learn an exercise, like she'll teach you an exercise, then you break off in a group, you teach the exercise, and then it gets taught to you. But there's no like, this is how you teach it. They're just like, figure it out, you know. And that's kind of like the beauty and the art of it, is like you are learning as you go. You know, they don't expect you to know everything right then and there. But then I did ask her, I was like, okay, that's great and all, I have to tell these people this stuff, but like, where's my reformer at? Like, how do I show them? Because all the classes prior to that, like when I'm doing boot camp, I'm working out with people too. Like they have me as their model. So it's like, where
she just telling y'all do this.
Correct. I'm like, where do I demo at? And she's like, well, you don't. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, yeah, you have to learn how to talk people in and out of every exercise, because if your class is full, which is what you're gonna want, you're not going to have a reformer to demo on. So how are you going to tell someone? Because
everybody's going to be on the thing.
How are you going to tell someone to get their hands in straps without showing them? Sounds like an easy concept, but I promise you it's like the hardest thing to do, to teach a 50-minute class with literally nothing. Like it's just your words, you know. So like you have to be super descriptive. So in that 60 hours you learn.
You can't like, they got a machine, right? You can't go up to them and be like, hey, do this, do this, do this.
No, because it's 12 people. You got to keep it moving. It's a 50-minute class. You want it to flow, you know. So like. And that's the hard part. And so like that's where people like struggle sometimes, because like, and that's where I think like you need to learn, like, is this really for you or not? And like have an honest conversation with yourself, like, this ain't really for me. Because sometimes people go through the whole program because, and I get it, I was fortunate, I didn't pay anything, but people are paying like 6 racks to get
for Pilates.
Correct. It's like 6 racks.
Pilates.
Correct.
What?
But they're fully comprehensive, so they get to learn the reformer, they get to learn the mat, they get to learn the chair, they get to learn the Cadillac, so you learn everything now.
So you kind of got like a crash course.
It wasn't a crash course. No, it's just I got everything at once. I guess it was a crash course in a sense.
They threw you in the water, it sounded like. It wasn't like you saying you paid for the whole thing.
They threw me in the water, correct, because I signed up and then the next in-studio training was like 3 weeks later. But some people, like I said, had 2 months to be online watching all these videos where shit was probably making a whole lot more sense to them than it was to me. So I felt like I had to catch up. And then like just my natural like personality, I'm very competitive, so I'm not gonna be in there not knowing shit for too long. Like, you're not gonna that first weekend though, I kid you not, I spent the whole weekend in Epsom salt, because the thing about it is those 60 hours, it's not just a teacher teaching you. You're physically doing every exercise too, multiple times. So it's like you're getting 60 hours of working out, and the weekends they block them off. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You're there Friday and Saturday from like, I think it was like 2 to 8. And then Sunday you're there from like 2 to 6 or something. So it's a
whole day, bro,
of working out. There's not, and you only get like 2 15-minute breaks. It's not like you get a lot of time to like eat, think, even piss, really.
So, okay, with all that being said, right, I'm going to take it a few steps back for somebody like me and whoever's watching that's on the same page. What is Pilates?
So Pilates, I would say in a nutshell, is the art of connecting your mind and body and moving it in a way that works for you. So a lot of people overcomplicate it. I'm not going to lie, it doesn't have to be super complex, which is the way it was intended. So Joseph Pilates, who's the creator of Pilates, he originally was like he had a lot of ailments himself, so he was learning how to like basically work out along. He didn't like to take excuses. So because let's say he had asthma, or because someone was in a hospital bed, he didn't feel like that was a valid excuse not to work out. So he was trying to find ways to allow people to get mobile even around whatever circumstance they had going for them. So that's how Pilates was originally created, was for like the sick person, the person with, you know, a broken leg or coming off of a hip, or like recovery purposes. It's really good for recovery. But it's also really good for just like preventative measures. So I think Pilates is not a replacement. People always ask me like, oh, I like strength train in the gym. Should I only do Pilates? Or I only do Pilates. Should I strength train in the gym? The answer is you should do both. So I would never say do one or the other, because they both have their benefits. And the people that actually do both are the more fit. You know, I think those are like the top tier fit people.
So that's cool. See, I ain't know all that, right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, though, Pilates was originally meant for people who
couldn't
really work out how most people work out.
Correct.
That's
and
cool.
To be able to work out still, you know, it gave them that ability to work out. Now it has transformed like everything, and it has progressed, which we love. There's like modern day Pilates, and I mean, you probably don't know, but like online, there's a lot of beef between like classically trained Pilates instructors and like these like new modern,
like an influencer Pilates kind of thing?
Because a lot of stuff online too that you see is not Pilates. To be fair, they just like slap Pilates on it to get it trending now because it's a hot topic.
No, for real, because I ain't gonna lie, 3 months ago, it been about 3-4 months. I've been seeing Pilates all over. Like, what? Everybody talking about, hey, come on, we going here, going there. It's like the run clubs. When the run clubs first came out, folks like, hey, come to the run club. Now, I ain't no Pilates. I'm looking at everybody's story. I'm like, bro, what y'all got going on?
Yeah, I really couldn't tell you why. I think it's just, if you get taught the right way, like let's say you get a really good instructor, you do feel better. Like, I don't know, have you ever taken a yoga class?
I did yoga one time.
How'd you feel after you got out of yoga?
I mean, like, it was cool. Like, it was cool, but it was like, it was one time though, so I ain't going enough to be like, oh,
what kind of class was it? Because there's different kinds of yoga.
I don't know. I like doing stretching,
it was like
a post. Yeah, it was slow. Like you was stretching there, so like when I was on my stomach, and they like you slowly go up, then you breathe, hold that for a few, then you come back down.
I don't know the names of yoga, but I would say, I know what you're talking about. It's a slower flow. I will say that yoga puts you in like a more meditative state, right? You come out feeling like refreshed, but you don't really feel sore when you leave yoga.
Nah,
right?
I was like refreshed. Like I'm feeling like, you come out the sauna or something. You
correct. That's how I feel when I leave yoga too. When I take Pilates, it's like a little bit of both. So I feel refreshed, but I do feel like I got a good freaking workout too.
Like
fatigued. Yeah, you are fatigued. Because there's challenges. So the art of Pilates, I would say, is like the more you know, the harder it gets. So like people think like they go for, like at one of the studios we track classes, right? So people think like, oh, I've done 250 classes, I'm a professional, like I know more than the instructor. Then they still be getting humbled, and they're just like, why was that class so hard? And I'm like, because you know more now. So like it's the same class you got taught, not the same exact class, but it's the same level of class you got taught 6 months ago, but now you're able to understand the cue in your body more. You're able to connect that cue into your body more, so it's more challenging because you're actually doing it right. And I think that's where people get like distracted, especially I feel like, it takes a while. I would say like don't take one Pilates class and just be like, it's not for me, because especially the fit people, those are the hardest ones to like change their brain. We go to the gym, we work out. How quick are you throwing your reps up? Like, are you in there slow pushing, or are you
it
like,
depends what I'm working on,
2,
but like
3.
usually if I got that decent weight, I'm a pause kind of guy. I like to pause that bit and then go up. But I know some folks go in there, they go ahead and get that.
Yeah,
just
they're
back to back, get as many reps as they can.
Correct.
Depending.
And I get it, because you're on a time crunch. We all got like 45 minutes to work out. We're trying to get as much done as possible. Pilates really slows you down, and I think that's the hardest part to wrap.
So it is a lot slower pace.
It should be. It should be. It doesn't always get taught that way, but that's how like true Pilates is like slow, controlled breath and body. Like I always try to connect people's breath first to their body, like trying to connect their core just through their breath, and then start getting them moving, and then start making the workouts a little bit. So like I stack my workouts as the class progresses. It gets harder, not necessarily because I have you in like this contorted pose or anything, just because I've really got you thinking now. Like I try to like make everything else quiet so that you're really focused on yourself when I teach. But that's not every class. And same thing for yoga. That's why like you can't just take one class and assume like a certain modality is not for you, because it does take a few, and it does take a certain instructor. Like, it might have just been that instructor, or that just might not have been the instructor's best day. Like, we're human, right? So you could have came into that class, that instructor could have been having a bad day. No offense, like, they should have still like put that shit at the door and like still performed. But if they didn't, it happens, and like, you gotta always try it again.
So when you have your classes, right, is it majority men or majority women?
It depends on the studio, because it just depends on the clientele. But I have taught plenty of men. I enjoy teaching men, to be fair. I don't, not all men, because no offense to y'all, but Pilates is a predominantly woman industry, and some men come in there with ulterior motives. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they disrupt the whole like energy.
Oh, they messing up the vibes. They messing up the flow.
Correct.
No,
and it's
man.
like, if you want to come in there and find your future wife, that's cute and all, but like,
wait till after the class. Wait till we're done. Wait till we're done.
Come a couple times, right?
Okay.
Make it look like you're at least doing this for like your lifestyle too.
Pretend like it.
Correct. Like, don't F the vibe up because you're just in here to scan the classroom, you know, because that's like a safe space for us women. And so like, I don't like that. But there are plenty of men that do come take Pilates for the right reasons, get a good workout in. And I think that men can benefit from it the most, because y'all are just naturally the most tight and like lack of mobility all around. Like, a lot of times, I mean, even Darius, like, he can't take his arms up and around. Like, he's just, like, when you got bigger muscles, you're just tighter. Like, you don't have the range of motion that I would have as a smaller, petite woman. So I do think that men shouldn't be scared because it's mostly women. But I do think that studios need to do a better job of having, like, men-only classes, because I feel like that would bring in more men.
I don't know if the man going to go to that one. I ain't going to lie to you.
I think as a beginning, as a starting point, I feel like if you came into a class with mostly men, it would make you feel better because you see other men struggling. Yeah. I think it's too humbling sometimes to come into a class and see all these women perform, and like, men's ego just can't handle it. It's not, a lot of times they can't. Not every man, so don't come for me. Not every man. But a lot of times men come take a class and they like the class, but they won't come back because they felt inadequate. And it's unfortunate because they could benefit the most.
Do you have older men come to class when your experience? You have older or like younger
I would say the younger dudes come with their girlfriends. It's a forced thing. I would say it's more like 40 and up. 40 to, I've had like 70, 80-year-olds, you know what I mean, in class, both men and women. So yeah, I would say it's definitely like the more middle-aged male in the class, unless like it's someone's boyfriend or something that's coming with them. But then they're only coming like 1 or 2 times. So
it's not like consistent.
It's not like consistent. I would say the consistent people, like the men that have memberships, like are paying for it, 40 and up. Because also I think the men that have memberships and are paying for it are older because they're more established in their finances and are cool with spending $220 for a membership each month. You know what I mean? Younger men are like, that's really not worth it. I can just go to the gym and spend my $25 a month and be cool. Like, you know.
So, there's a lot of information right now. Like I said, it's all news to me right now. You know what I mean? So, Pilates is made for anybody and everybody.
1,000%.
Predominantly women.
No,
I'm saying like mostly the women are the ones that's going. That's what I know it as.
But you got to remember, Joseph Pilates was a man, and he's the one that created Pilates.
He's a hero.
He's a hero.
He did something great. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that men are just, the women have dominated the industry, so men have just let it be ours. But it shouldn't just be a women's only industry, for sure. It is for everybody. Like, literally, you should be able to go to a Pilates class with your grandma. You get a good workout in, and she get a good workout in.
So do all Pilates places have those, what is it called?
Reformers? No.
Reformers? Okay.
So, and that's why, like, no shade, but, like, I'm very thankful that I got my certification through Club Pilates, because I got to learn mat Pilates, reformer Pilates, Cadillac. Yeah, so I got taught all of that within 500 hours, which is why it was 500 hours. You could go get a little mat cert for maybe 100, 200 hours real quick, but then you're limited to only being able to teach mat.
Yeah.
And so with reformer being so popular, I think it's a disservice to yourself to go out there and just get that mat. And it's a disservice to yourself to only get reformer Pilates, because there's a lot that some people can't lay down or get up. Like, there's a lot of things that you can teach on a mat, or some people don't have the money to pay for reformer Pilates. So like, you're limiting yourself in the reach of your clientele if you only have one, like,
See, the reformer, what I see most time on Instagram and online
yeah,
and
because
stuff
that's
like
like
that.
trending.
Yeah.
So, but you probably do see mat, you just don't realize that it's a
Just
mat
Pilates, though.
Pilates class. You probably just think it's yoga. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't really put it to being a Pilates class.
So, all that being said, while we on this topic of Pilates still, you are pregnant.
I am.
And do you think Pilates is beneficial for people who are pregnant, or do you think they should step away from it?
No. I'm very thankful with this being my third pregnancy that I have Pilates underneath my belt, and that I found it. And maybe that's like the roundabout reason of why, things happen for a reason. Because when you go give birth, it's not even, well, with pregnancy too, like as a pregnant woman, you have aches, you have pains, you can't lay the same way you've always laid, you walk differently, all your body weight is now coming forward, so like you have a lot of pressure on your back that you didn't have before, you're gaining weight everywhere. No, but for real, you're gaining weight everywhere, so like, and it's in a quick amount of time. It feels like forever. As a pregnant woman, it's 9 months, but for someone to gain, anywhere from 30, 50, sometimes 100 pounds in 9 months, that's a lot of weight to put on.
Especially you real small too. You ain't never had that kind of weight on you.
Yeah, and so it is a lot of wear and tear on the body quickly, and then then it's like, but then it's the big day. It's like you actually have to give birth to this child now. So like, that's the hardest part, and I feel like if you're not working out, even if it's not Pilates, if you're not working out while you're pregnant, you're not really prepping your body for what it's about to go to when you have to labor.
You're doing yourself a disservice.
You are doing yourself a disservice. And there's so many, and it's not, I mean, obviously I'm just a Pilates instructor, yes, but there's a lot of research that you guys can go out there and back that it is more beneficial to be moving and grooving and staying physically active while pregnant versus staying at home like we used to think. We used to think once you became pregnant, that's it, you can't do anything because like you're in a fragile state. And now that I work out, like the first 2 pregnancies, I never worked out, so I didn't even think about
That's cool.
it.
So you got both perspectives.
Correct. And I didn't even think about it. I walked, but that was about it. But I was telling Darius, I went to the gym the other day and I took like a body pump class, which is like a full body workout class. And one time I told the instructor I was pregnant before class. The second time I just waited because I'm just like, you either can see I'm pregnant or not, but it's fine. I don't care. I made the mistake of saying it. I say that because
they try to be like, how you do different things.
She tried to treat me like I was disabled then, and I was like, she kept on the mic, you can do this. Like, she kept pointing me out in class, and then at the end of class, she came to me and was just like, I'm sorry, like, I really don't know much about, like, pregnant women. So then it just also rubbed me the wrong way. So I'm like, you don't know much. You're pointing me out in front of class. You're acting like you're helping me. You're not really giving me solid advice. And, like, I told you in the beginning of class, I'm pregnant because I wanted to give you the heads up as an instructor, because I know how it is being in the middle of class and then someone telling you, like, they have this thing going on. And I was like, dang, I wish you would have, like, shared with me when I asked in the beginning of class, because now, like, I would have not had to do, like, 7 of these other moves. You know what I mean? So I was trying to help her out in case she could really help me. But then she couldn't, because then she told me straight up, like, she's not even trained. They don't mandate any training for pregnancy there. So, like, it's not.
Is there training for, like, working with pregnant women?
Anyone can get it. If you're a personal trainer, it's not part. They give you, like, a little short, like, snippet in your.
I'm saying? So it's another course or something.
Yeah,
you can,
but anyone. And I just feel like if you're in the fitness industry as a woman and teaching a bunch of women, that is a cert you want to get. Like, 1,000%. Go get more educated, because I don't know the percentage in how many women are having babies, but that's how we all got here. So somehow, some way, the world is going to have babies. You know what I mean? So like, there's going to be a chance that there's going to be a pregnant woman or someone recovering from pregnancy that just had a baby in your class, and you're going to want to be able to support them any way you can so that they can stay on their track. So yeah, anyways, I'm getting off track, but I just feel like when I go worked out, like, now she was treating me like I was disabled. So the second time I went, I was like, I'm not telling them I'm pregnant.
It was a different instructor, though?
It was a different instructor.
So you played cool.
And I just went in there. I mean, I was visibly pregnant again. It's not like you can't tell I'm pregnant.
But you gotta make them say something about it. You can't, like,
that's true. That's true. They can't ask. They
can't
ask. But I'm just like, I'm gonna do my modifications that I know is true. If she has something to offer me, she'll come up and ask me. I'm just going to mind my business over here. And it was cool or whatever. And she did. And she let it go. And like, honestly, she taught the class. I know she made a few modifications because I took the class like 2 days prior and it was basically the same exact format. I feel like she saw that I was pregnant and the modifications she made, she just made the whole class do it instead of just single me out, which I appreciated.
That's cool though.
Because I'm just like, and that's how I teach, and that's how I was taught to teach. If you got someone in your class that has like a thing, it's not necessarily that you
Like,
have
don't
to
point them
change.
out, but like you can still.
You don't have to change your whole flow just because this person's pregnant. The whole class can do this modified version of abs and get a benefit out of it. It's one class, and you don't have to say we're modifying the abs because this lady's pregnant. You could just modify it, and no one's none the wiser.
That goes into being a good coach, a good teacher. Though,
correct, and understand. So the second teacher, I appreciate her because she knew what she was doing. She understood the assignment, and she took the assignment, and she did what she was supposed to do. But as far as working out, yeah, because Labor Day comes. Now you have to push this baby out. Sometimes you're in labor. Sometimes you're lucky you're in labor for a few hours. And when I say a few, maybe 4. But there's women out there laboring for days, like 2 days.
In the
and
hospital?
like at home, in the hospital, just going through it. Like with labor.
Like you ready to push the thing out?
You can't push it out until you're ready. Boy. But it's a day or two where you're going through the pains of it. I think that is why Pilates is good, because it's low impact. So while you're pregnant, I think it's a good thing to have because it's low impact. It's easier on your body than like throwing up a bunch of weight. Even if you're like a weightlifting girly prior to pregnancy, your body changes and you just don't want to. Like, I was going in the gym heavy before I got pregnant this time. I was in the gym probably like 4 or 5, maybe 6 days a week sometimes doing it. And once I got pregnant, literally, I found out I was pregnant at 4 weeks exactly. I worked out maybe 3 days before I found out I was pregnant. Once I found out I was pregnant, I did not go back for 12 weeks. I mentally checked out. I was like, this is why I'm tired. This is why I don't feel good. Like, all the things.
So you wanted to, you just really couldn't.
I couldn't. I had no motivation. I would go to work. I wake up at like 4:30, go to work from 5 to 9, come home, check in with the kids, make sure that they're good, do their homework or whatever we got going on the computer. And then by 11, 12 o'clock, I go upstairs to my room and pass out. And I was in my room until like 6 p.m. Could not get out of bed. Like, even if I wanted to, couldn't. And then
that's just at 4 weeks.
That was from 4 weeks to 14 weeks. That was my life for that stretch. Those 10 weeks were just very.
This pregnancy, not
this
not
pregnancy.
The other ones.
Well, the other ones I
thing?
didn't have fitness going beforehand. Okay. So me slowing down was just.
You didn't see the difference.
I didn't see the difference, and I think this time it was more mentally affecting me because mentally I wanted to go to the gym. Physically, I couldn't. You know what I mean? But then after about 14 weeks, I started getting my energy back. And probably within the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've been going to the gym a little bit more and more consistently. And I do feel now I know I'm pregnant, but I don't feel pregnant, if that makes sense. Where I think the last 2 pregnancies, I always felt pregnant, I guess. But I feel good now.
You feel the
yeah, like, I mean, I haven't taken a nap today. I've been up since 4 a.m. I worked all day until 12, came home, fed the kids, cleaned my room. My dog got in a fight, had to clean that up. Like, I've been doing all the mom things. Here I am now chatting with you. Yeah. What time is it? It's like
8 o'clock.
And I'm still going. If you would have asked Bree, a month and a half ago, can we do this? I would have said, Javi, 6 o'clock is a little too late, sir. Yeah. Okay, I need to go to bed. But now I'm good. So I do think that has a part to play with me being fit prior to pregnancy and me trying to maintain it now through pregnancy, because even though I did take that little 10-week hiatus off the gym, muscle memory snaps back. You know what I mean? So that first class, I was winded. I think I lost like 400 calories when I first got back. Okay, I think I burned like 400 calories in like my first class. Then that same format of class the other day I took, it was like 250 calories. So I already started like not exerting as much energy. And so I'm just like, okay, we're getting back to normal. So I think if you're doing Pilates with the right instructor and you're really trying to, again, the whole birthing process, if you have not given birth, but for those of you that have given birth, you know how much you have to really like connect, because you have to push. And like when it's time to push, you're in so much pain you can't think about anything else. But B, like, you got to be locked in to push this baby all the way out, So I think Pilates helps with that mind, body, and breath work that you need in labor. And then as well as the strength, the core strength you need to actually physically push a baby out, which you'll never get, fortunately. But for women, that I would say would be the best thing for you to do is, if you are even in the gym, take a few Pilates classes, try to go into Pilates 1 or 2 times a week until you give birth, because it will pay off decades later.
I think it's cool too, like you said, some women that have not had any children yet too, so they're hearing this now.
Yeah,
So
they
that
can
in the
prep.
future, maybe it's 5 years, next year, 2-3 years, you know what I'm saying?
No,
Maybe this year, who knows? I don't know what y'all doing out there, but
For
you know
real,
what I'm
I
saying?
have a client right now. This is her first baby. She joined at like 23 or 25 weeks, so she wasn't brand new pregnant, but she had been talking to her doctor like, oh, what am I gonna, what can I do for working out? Like, I don't, like, she hadn't worked out. She's not like a fitness
She
girly
wasn't
at all.
fitness beforehand.
Nothing. She just was asking for advice, like, what should she be doing? And they were like, thankful, shout out to her doctor, whoever that is, but they were like, find a Pilates studio. That'll be really helpful for you because it's low impact. And she comes twice a week, and she's faithful now for about at least 6 weeks. She's been coming. She's in her 30 plus weeks now pregnant, so she's on her way to giving birth, and I think it is going to pay off for her in the long run. So I don't really think there's a time limit on when you should start, or like, oh, don't think, oh, I'm 7 months pregnant, I can't go take a Pilates class now. Like, no, like it's not a matter of too late. It's too late if you wait, basically.
All that being said, right? Damn, what I was about to say. I had some saucy too, boy.
Lost your train of thought. I hate when that happens.
That damn plane threw me off.
Right,
Nah, it's cool though.
right.
But look, what I was about to say, bro, shit was important too. Oh, cool. So you've been pregnant twice. Okay, cool. You had both kids. Goddamn, you wasn't into fitness at all, right? This is gonna be your first time having a baby and being involved with fitness, so you don't really know how the bounce back is gonna be different than these ones. But from maybe what you've seen in your experience with this, how is it like? A lot of women want to bounce back after a pregnancy. How have you done that with your other children? You know what I'm saying? Because I get a lot of DMs or a lot of people hitting me up too, like, hey, like, you got any workouts for someone after just having a baby? I'm trying to do this, trying to do that. Like, what would you recommend?
So definitely give your body time to heal, right? So like, you just gave birth. I know we want to lose our weight. What I've done with my prior two that have worked, and that was just like bare minimum, is the minute I give birth, the minute I put myself in a nice tight like faja immediately, to just put because you're loose. You're just loose, right? So I just put everything, because like your organs, everything made space for the baby. So I put everything in a faja, and I live in that faja for as much as I can, at least 4 to 6 hours a day, as much as I can. Each day I keep it on a little bit longer and longer. I breastfed both of my children. Now, I know not everyone is able to breastfeed, but that did help out a lot, because it helps tighten up your stomach after having a baby, which a lot of people may not know that, but like that's helped me a lot, just in order to like shrink again. And then I believe I was like 4 weeks. I didn't get cleared to like do heavy lifting from my doctor. I think I might have even been sooner than that, to be fair. It was like 2 weeks. But I didn't have any stitches with either of my kids. So again, everyone's case is going to be different, but I didn't have stitches anywhere with either of my kids.
This
so
is best case scenario right here.
Best case scenario right here. I had no stitches, gave natural birth. So after 2 weeks, I started gentle workouts, just like squats, lunges, no push-ups, nothing that required too much
weight. You just do body weight.
Body weight,
Okay.
no added weight, and not a lot. Just things to get me moving, so I'm not laying in bed or sitting down.
Get your heart rate going a little bit.
Yeah, just feel good, and nothing crazy, but like maybe 5 minutes, nothing. I'm not out here like killing it. But then once the doctor cleared me after my second child at 6 weeks, that's when I started actually like, okay, I need to like work out, because I mean, I wasn't old, but I had my first at 23, my second at 27. That time gap is a lot different. And now, even now, me being 33, that's my biggest like wraparound, is like, okay, I'm an older woman now. Like, you don't lose weight the way you used to when you were 21. It's just, that's just life, you got to try a little harder. You got to want it a little bit more. So my plan going into this pregnancy or this postpartum is kind of the same thing. I'm going to have my faja. I do plan to nurse. Probably within 2 weeks, I'll start doing maybe not squats and stuff like I did, because I'm more knowledgeable now. I have Pilates under my belt, which I didn't have before. But core recovery and the snap back in your belly really happens within like the first 12 weeks after having a baby.
Really?
So you shouldn't wait. A lot of people want to wait like, 12, 16, 3 months, 4 months, whatever the number is they want to wait for. And like the further you go without trying to bring your muscles back together, the harder it's going to be. It's not impossible, but it's just going to be harder. So like, and then with Pilates, there's just a lot of breath work that you can do to connect your core that doesn't require you like lifting any weight with your core or putting any pressure through your core. You can really just do like the diaphragmatic breathing and things like that to try to bring, because a lot of people have diastasis recti where their core really splits, and you can literally stick like 4 fingers in between your belly button through, because your belly's growing, so like it's just stretching. Trying to recover that is hard. And unfortunately, a lot of women just give up. You know, they think, well, this is just my post. And I don't think that that's fair for us to just accept. It does take a little bit of work. If you really care, you'll like educate yourself and try to find help, and connect with people like me that are willing and wanting to help those like you out there that have these things going on. So I will say that that's probably my biggest thing going forward, as well as with my Pilates goal and just like my business and like what am I going to do now with a baby, right? Because that's why everyone's like, okay, girl, you wake up at 4 a.m., you teach 5 to 9. Like, what are you going to do when the baby gets here? Probably not teach 5 to 9, you know what I mean? Like, sorry, I mean, I don't know that I could just bring a baby to class. But I'm currently working to get a more intensive certification with my Pilates for pregnancy and postnatal, and kind of growing that community in the sense of trying to connect with like moms that are having babies, had babies, just had a baby, like all the things, and create like a little mommy and me group.
So that's what you're interested in doing? That's the next step?
That's my next step, because I just feel like that's where I'm at in life. So like that's who I can connect with most, you know? Not to say that I'm going to box out and not teach men or teach anything else, but
you really want to hone in on that.
If I had a niche clientele and like a group of people that I want to hone in on, it would be the moms that are of like young childhood age. You know, like we have kids like in elementary school and younger, not like the teenage moms, because my kids aren't there yet either. So I don't really understand that stage of parenting either. But that's why I'm getting my prenatal and postnatal certification, just so that I can better help than I already can. Just because I just feel like the more you know, the better.
So what are some red flags, like if when women are pregnant, that they're pushing too hard? Like, what are some things you look for, see, like if a woman's pushing too hard when they're pregnant? Because, you know, some people are like, let's say they're like you right now, working out beforehand, they're like, man, I can't stop, I got to keep going. They just like have that addiction, or they're trying to do too much. It's like, what is that limit? Because like you say, you're not disabled, but you're also not the same, bro. So
it's true, but everybody's body is like different, right? I see women now online that are freaking CrossFit, doing the hand clean, throwing the dumbbells up over their head. I personally wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm scared. I'm like, what happens if this dumbbell, like, whole barbell falls on my belly? You know what I mean? But there's women out there that do. I'm not gonna knock anyone's like journey. So I don't know if it's a red flag if they're happy, right? If they're doing it for the right reasons, if they feel good.
If they feel good
and everything on their scans is showing up, that's good. But if they're doing it for like the aesthetic, right? Or they're doing it for some, like, when you're pregnant, there's no body goal. Like you can't be in there like, oh, I'm gonna, like, you're not getting your body right. You know what I mean? Because like you're creating a baby. So like you can't be in there with that mindset, because
it's more to feel good than to look good at this point.
Yeah, it's more to feel good than to look good at this point, 1000%. So like, as long as that's what they're doing it for, and like I said, everything's good with their baby, I'm not going to knock them. Would I do it? No. But if that's what makes them happy, then that's also important as a pregnant woman, is your happiness.
So you've been pregnant, when it comes to working out at all, have you ever had a point where you're like, this don't seem right, let me chill out, let me stop?
Yeah, so I have to make a lot of modifications. That's, I think, the hardest wraparound for me now going back into the gym. I have a lot of modifications, and I'll be 19 weeks in 2 days. But a lot of modifications from how I used to work out, the pace I used to work out at. Like, I have to take a break. Like, I'm just like, let me go where's the water? You know, before I'm like, I could do a whole workout without water. It's fine. Dehydrated, cool, I'm gonna push through. That's just been my mindset. Like, if I'm working out, I'm grinding for that workout. Like, that's just who I am. But now I'm like, I'm gonna take a break here. Y'all are still, like, the other day, you know, the class was still going, and I held it for a moment. Okay, I'm gonna chill out real quick. And I just listened to my body. That maybe have been the hardest wraparound for me. But then I had to tell myself, you know, It's not for the aesthetic. It's for to feel good. Remember that. So like if you need a break, take your break.
That's a good mindset.
And I
Mindset
tell the
shift.
women that come today, every class I taught had a pregnant woman in it. It's crazy. I've never taught that many pregnant women in a
that's
day.
funny.
Every class I taught had a pregnant woman in it. And I said to them all, like, if it does not feel good, don't listen to me. Listen to you. Like, listen to me, but don't listen to me at the same time. And I kind of give that same motto for everyone. Like, yes, listen to me, but listen to your body.
So being pregnant and still trying to keep your body right, what are some things you tell these women to when it comes to nutrition and diet? Like,
don't listen to me. I'm just kidding. What I will say is everything in moderation when you're pregnant. Like the first 10 weeks of my pregnancy, I lived off of sour Skittles. Crazy. But you're so nauseous. One of the things that help with nausea is sour. So that was one of the things that I can quickly eat while I'm teaching so that I don't have to run out of my middle of the class and throw up.
you don't want to go get a lemon real quick.
Correct. Yeah, like, I mean, a lemon might have helped the situation, but, like, that was
Who
just...
carrying around lemon juice or lemon?
Or big-ass lemons that I can
Yeah.
slice up and just... Okay, guys, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Also, you're not trying to tell people you're pregnant, so it's a little weirder to just be, like, chewing on lemons all day, and people are like, are you good, sis?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this is my detox. You know what I mean? Like, but I will say, like, once you get out of, like, that nausea part of, like, your first trimester, because you're just, like, fight or flight, just trying to do whatever to maintain, you're not getting a lot of calories in. A lot of people lose weight their first trimester because of that. Definitely everything in moderation at that point, because now you have to remember you're no longer just feeding for yourself. A lot of people kind of throw everything out the window and they think I got to eat enough for two. I don't eat for two. I don't block myself from eating things though either. So I'm not like, oh, I'm on a super regimen diet, but I've never been that way. So I very much believe in like everything with balance. Like I'm not eating like pizza every day, but if I want pizza,
You gonna do it.
I'm going to eat pizza. But I also know I work out too. So like that's my balance in life is like me as a person. I know I might eat like crap this day, but I'm also working out. Not that it's going to like make that go away, but it's not really adding on.
So for people with less experience, because you on your third kid right now.
I would say definitely like first trimester, fight or flight it, do what you got to do. But once that second trimester hits and you can actually eat again, be mindful. Like you want to eat more full whole meals. Like try to eat the veggies, try to eat your real protein, try to stay away from like processed foods as much as you can. Me being a mom of like almost 3, that's like the hardest part of like not eating like frozen food. You know what I mean? Because like that's the quickest, easiest thing, and trying to make like whole meals all the time. So maybe you're not eating whole meals 3 times a day, but at least try to get 1 or 2 in your day. You know, like just be a more mindful eater is how I just coach anyone, not just in pregnancy. But more so in pregnancy, you want to be super mindful because it's not about you anymore. So like people just be doing the wildest, craziest things just because they're pregnant. They're just like, oh, I'm pregnant, I can eat this and I can eat that. And it's like, you could, no one's stopping you, but it's going to be so much harder after, and maybe you're not going to realize it.
You put on pounds with the baby, but y'all put on pounds because you might be in a big bag, dog.
Well, to be fair, like they say, and I mean, this has never been my experience, but they say you're only supposed to like gain like 30 pounds when you're pregnant. Both my pregnancies, I've gained 50. So I don't know what that's like to only gain 30. Yeah. So far with this pregnancy, I've already gained 10. I'm only 18 weeks. You know what I mean? I'm on track to maybe gain 30.
Damn, 50 pounds, bro. That's like, can you imagine as a man, bro? Imagine having 50 pounds of muscle, bro. You know what I'm saying? Imagine getting 50 pounds. You know how crazy you would look, dog?
Right.
50 pounds?
In 9 months.
In your stomach?
Yeah. Well, it's not just in your stomach. So that's the other thing. Women gain it all over.
But that's still, let's say that's 25 right there.
That's about it. You're going to gain the 30 in your stomach. The other weight that you gain on top of that 30 is everywhere else. Yeah. So, that's where I'd be like being more mindful. Like I had a girl today that was one of my pregnant women telling me she gained like 80 pounds when she was pregnant, and she was like short like me. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm 5'3".
Yeah.
You was how much? There's no way.
Hey,
like
that's crazy. You're not bad.
You know how much
I know
pain?
your knees hurt.
That's what I'm saying. Because my knees have legit not been the same.
I know your knees hurt.
So she's like on her second pregnancy. She's like, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, girl, I don't blame you. But she looks so good now. So I'm just like, girl, you gained what? When?
So she bounced back already.
She bounced back. Because I thought this was her first pregnancy because she looked so damn good. B, I thought she had been working out forever because she looked so damn good. And then she told me how much weight she gained her first one, and this is what she looked like. I was like, girl, you'll be fine. Whatever happens this time, you'll be okay.
It's already. Well, yeah, this one is what has been the hardest part of staying active while pregnant. But we kind of went through that already.
Yeah, I will say now I'm good, but the hardest part was, you know how people say like when you're not pregnant, but like you know how people say when motivation is lacking, that's where discipline kicks in.
Mm.
Like there was no motivation or discipline in the beginning. It was just like, nah, it's not happening. So I think mindset, like having a healthy mindset now, knowing that I don't have motivation and I don't have the discipline anymore because that kind of all went away. Like it's really just like I know this is good for me and I've worked on my mindset prior to pregnancy to be able to get back into it. So I would say maybe if you have not read any like self-help books or anything to any battles you're dealing with mentally and internally while pregnant, this is a good time to like tap in and like help yourself, like read some stuff and try to like overcome that, because even if you're not physically active, you can be mentally getting healthy, because when the baby does come, that's what's going to take the toll is your mental, because you're going to be lacking sleep. You're not going to be able to work out. Even if you did work out your whole pregnancy, there is a moment in time where you can't work out again, and like you're going to have nothing but that mental to lock in on. So I'm thankful that I have been able to work around it and be able to at least be like mentally strong to get back into the gym.
So what's some advice you wish more people gave pregnant women but rarely do?
I wish people would give pregnant women the advice of literally like it's okay. Like you don't have to do all the things you were doing before. Like I feel like even with me being pregnant the third time, I still struggle with the fact that like I feel like I have to do everything I was doing before. Like I have to show up as my best self at work. I have to be at home doing all the things. I have to, like, it's in my brain. Am I doing all those things? No, but I think that's a stress that we put on our shoulders that no one's taking off our shoulders though either. Like yeah, maybe some random person in the street will be like, girl, like you need to chill or relax, but like it doesn't hit the same as when like your closest people are telling you that, you know what I mean? So I just feel like more people would educate women, or us women, just like maybe care less and just know like you're doing a hard job. You're creating a human around the clock for 9 months. Like that's a lot of work that people like take for granted. They're because like half the population doesn't have to do it, you know what I mean, at all. So they're never going to understand it, and you can't get mad at your significant other for not understanding. Like that's not their job in life. Like y'all are men for a reason, so they're never going to get it no matter how much we try to make them get it. So like stop getting mad at them for not getting it. Like, but also stop putting that pressure on yourself because they don't get it, that you feel like you have to like do all this stuff to prove like you're like sufficient, because you're also creating life. So like it's okay, sis. Like if like right now I have like 3 baskets of laundry in my room that I have to do that have not literally I've had laundry since I found out I was pregnant. Like it just has not finished. So like but that's because I've told myself like it's okay this time. So I think like just telling yourself it's okay, because like the day's gonna go on, you're doing a hard job. So I think that would probably be the biggest thing. And also like sleep. A lot of people take for granted the sleep that they don't get while pregnant. Like
you said sleep while you pregnant, while you can.
Sleep while you can, because like and everyone's just like, oh, I do sleep. No, you don't. Like you don't understand. When you have a newborn, you don't sleep consistently. You might get a few hours, but it's not deep and it's not consistent. It might be a little more comfortable because you don't got a baby in your belly, but it's not good sleep. So I promise you, if you can take a nap in your day, don't feel guilty to take that nap. If you could take 2 naps in your day, don't feel guilty. If you can't take no naps, try to go to sleep early. Try to stay in late. Like whenever you can get that extra moment of sleep, do not feel guilty. Sleep, because once that baby comes, for at least 3 to 6 months, you finna be struggling.
So I like how you said that too, about how the difference between a man and woman, right? And you brought up earlier how you're gonna have you're working on creating a group and a space for women that are pregnant. So I think that's really cool. I'd recommend women to get around more women that's pregnant, so you can have those kind of conversations and understand what y'all talking about. You can say your perspective, different state perspective. Oh, I'm going through this. You know what I'm saying?
Healthy
and,
conversation.
Yeah, because you talk. I mean, it's cool to talk to a person who hasn't done some of these things or ain't been through some things, but you're only gonna get so far in the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
So those groups are very important
They are.
find that group or find that community.
And that's outside of pregnancy. That's just in life in general. I think people need to find a community outside of their relationship or like, you're not defined by just like who you're with. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes people, like, I mean, I'm married, so my husband and our relationship is like the most important relationship in my life. However, there's a lot of things that I'm not gonna get from him, and that's not a lack or jab to him, but like, he just can't offer that. That's just not who he is. It's not who he was. That's not who God made him to be. Like, put him in this world. Like, that's not his message for me. But that doesn't mean I don't deserve that message from someone. So like, that's where those communities, like, there's younger women, like, I might not align with the 20 to 25-year-old girlies that are not pregnant and aren't having babies, that are still outside and having a good time, and like, I support that too, but I don't do that. So like, I don't have anything to offer that group. But you should have a group of girlfriends or a group of people that you can communicate and like talk to. And even like, then the middle age, we can go middle age, and like the middle aged men and the middle aged women, like, they're in a different life than us here in our, you know, late 20s and 30s. Like, we're all in different pockets of life, and you need to find a group of people that you can lean on to bounce ideas off with, because sometimes just saying it is all you need. And sometimes you say it to like your significant other, and they feel like they need to respond to like give you advice, and you don't need advice. You just want to say it. And it's a safer space sometimes to just say it. They don't got nothing to offer you. You're just cool, and then you can go home, and it's not a like a point. Like, you're good now. Like, you feel good, and you get to go home and be happy. And so I like that in the sense, in the Pilates realm. A lot of women, especially when I first started, like, I created a big community, not of pregnant women, just of women in general, where that was like their outlet for the day. And like, then they were their best selves for the rest of the day. And I think that's just important in general.
So, speaking about the groups and stuff like that, right? What do you think, in your experience and stuff like that, for the people that find groups but they're in the wrong group? We talking about life now, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of folks get around, and I say this because some drills I made before, like, bro, I'm telling these folks, like, bro, I never been the type of person where I just kick it, like, just to kick it. Like, I don't need to be around a bunch of people. Bro, if I do not fuck with you, bro, I'm not from around you, bro, you know what I'm saying? As to where I've known people, like, even back in high school, right, you know, people hanging out with this group, they're not benefiting from that, the group joking on them, fucking them over, this and that, but they still hang around them. What do you think for people, like, that are trying to find their group, but they're in the wrong group? Like, how do they separate from that group to find the right group?
It takes time, because, like, everyone's different. Like, me personally, I'm not the type of person that needs to go through something to understand the message. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm chopping it up with you and you're like, Bree, these people you hanging out with, they're not good for you for X, Y, and Z. If you making sense, I'm like, well, damn, he kind of making sense. Maybe he right. And I'll start moving a different way. There's some people that no matter how much you tell them that's not the group for them, they just have to go through it to see it for themselves. You know what I mean? Like, that's just who they are. I think everyone's different, right? So you have to learn who your audience is. If you're dealing with somebody that just has to go through it, the best thing you can do is support them. If you love them, support them through it and hope they make it out on the other side. And just kind of coach them up, like, hey, I'm here supporting you.
Let's be if you love them,
right?
Dog, that's true.
That's true. That's true.
Because, man, dog, you can't stick around with nobody like that don't either, bro. Because then you waste time.
But to put it in perspective, like, nobody's perfect, right? So like, love isn't going to always like sell the dream. Like, you can love someone but not be in love with them at the same time. You know what I mean? Not every day are you going to be in love with that person, but that doesn't mean you love them any less. That doesn't mean that you're going to show up for them any less. That just means they kind of get on your nerves today. You know what I mean? And like, that doesn't mean because they're getting on your nerves today, that's that moment where it's like everything they're doing now is like, let me like bash on them because like you're being super annoying. You know, like, that's why these groups are important, to find like outlets so you're not trauma dumping on people. But on the same token, like, if you're with someone and you're trying to like...
You talking about relationships or talking about friends?
Just in general. Friends too, because I have friends. I have had friends. I do still have friends that I love dearly, but I love them from a long distance away. You know what I mean? Like, I don't wish them any bad blood. I have nothing bad to say about them, but I know that their life choices are not aligning with I don't know how to help them.
They're headed down a path of destruction, man.
Well, yeah, and I don't know, and I don't know
dog.
how to help, and I don't know how to help them. So
Sometimes you can't help them though. You can't save everybody.
and I can't also sit here though.
Jesus ain't save everybody.
That's correct, but I also can't sit here and align myself with you either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I have to love you from a
But
distance.
you know that, and there's a lot of people out there that don't understand that or don't know how to separate themselves. And
No, they don't. But that's why you got to know your
Yeah.
audience. So like if you're dealing with somebody that doesn't understand that, you're just going to have to it's going to have to be perception is your truth. My perception is I'm putting a boundary up because I can't align with what you're doing. So instead, I'm just going to love you from over here. And if one day we can get back, cool, I'm going to act like no time has passed. You know what I mean? But that's just my personality. But sometimes you do have to just peel back from that person if they're not able to listen. And you can't, and you don't feel like it's beneficial for you and your space to stay there and support through it, then just, respectfully give yourself a boundary and some space. And if it's not a friendship and it's like a relationship, if it's fate, that shit'll work out. If it's meant to be, that shit will always work out. If it ain't meant to be, it'll be dead. You know what I mean? And it's always gonna die. So you just let it do what it does.
So to close this out, what's some that you want people to take away from this episode? If they would take one thing away, what's the one thing you want them to take away from it?
Honestly, one thing would be like, make yourself happy. Honestly, because we got one life to live, and who gives a fuck what people think? I think we put too much emphasis on what people are thinking about us, what we should be doing, what trend is out there, what's this, what's that. You're always like, what's the next thing? Like, just focus on yourself. Make yourself happy, do what makes you happy, and live that 10 toes down. Like, live it thoroughly, be authentic to that instead of trying to like keep up, because don't nobody like someone trying to just keep up. Those are like the most annoying people in my personal opinion. But I would say that would be my message.
For sure. Well, tell people where they can find your classes at. Where's your classes?
So currently I'm out of the Tampa Bay area. So you can find me in Valrico, in Wesley Chapel, or in Lakeland. I work for Club Pilates and Melia Pilates Studio. They're online, so you can, or they're not online, but you can look them up online is what I mean by that. But you can follow me. I am Breathe the Body Goddess on Instagram and TikTok and Threads. And I'm just Bree Lee on Facebook. But yeah, you can follow me and basically keep up with me there. I'm pretty active on those, so you'll know where I'm at and what I'm doing at most parts as far as where I'm working. So
And we'll put that down in the description below so y'all can check that out. Just tap and go, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I think it was a good episode, covered a lot of things. If y'all want to see her on here again, go ahead and let us know down below. If you guys have any questions for her, go ahead and let us know.
Y'all want to see me again because we only talked about Pilates and we really didn't get to talk about nothing else, and I do got more to offer.
We got a lot of different things, like I said, but this was relevant to the times right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Plus, I didn't even get to ask him no questions neither.
No. We
and
good.
like, he is my cousin, so I do got some questions.
We'll do another one, bro. We'll do another one. Like I said, it's the first of many. Don't gotta be the last one.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't.
But we rocking and rolling, y'all. So catch y'all next episode, and stay tuned.
All right, bye.